Can NIO become a trillion-dollar company? Well, NIO's market cap was once more than 100 billion, and so they only need to 10x that to get to a trillion. And Tesla actually did have a trillion-dollar market cap. It was 1.2 trillion at one point, so there is proof that it can be done. It's been done before by an EV manufacturer. China's economy is also large enough to make it happen, of course, and although they don't have any trillion-dollar companies at the moment in terms of USD, they actually created the first trillion-dollar company, which was PetroChina back in 2007. So the possibility is certainly there for NIO. But with a current market cap of 9.6 billion, how long is it going to take for NIO to get to 1 trillion? Well, if we use their projected EPS growth rate of 48% per annum, and we assume that that's going to be directly reflected in the share price and the market cap, then NIO would become a trillion-dollar company in 2038, which is 14 years from now. Now, one thing that could make a huge impact on this is valuation. Currently, NIO's price of sales is 1.18, which is very close to the EV and auto manufacturing industry's valuation, which is currently 1.2. So we can expect that to stay mostly the same. Or can we? Because when Tesla reached its trillion-dollar valuation in Q4 of 2021, their price to sales was not the industry average. Their price to sales was 22, back when the industry average was about 4.5, meaning Tesla's valuation was 4.9 times higher than the average at that time for the auto manufacturing industry. So if NIO were to see a valuation like this, then NIO would actually reach a trillion-dollar market cap 5 years sooner in 2033, assuming that same 48% growth rate per annum. But now let's look at it from another angle instead of growth rate and valuation. Let's look at it in terms of cars delivered, okay? In Q4 of 2021, that year, when Tesla achieved its trillion-dollar valuation, they sold 937,000 vehicles trailing 12 months, okay? Now let's assume that NIO needs to sell at least that many cars to reach the same sort of market cap. It's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be close. In 2023, NIO sold 160,000 vehicles with a year-over-year increase of 30.7%. That is a massive growth rate. And at that sort of rate, NIO would sell 900,000 cars a year around the 2030 mark, which is actually not that far away. That's just 6 years away. So when using an EPS growth and valuation model, it looks like NIO could become a trillion-dollar company somewhere around the 2033 to 2038 mark at their current growth rates. And using a cars delivered model, it looks like that could be a bit sooner, around 2030, which is, again, just 6 years away. And I mean, both of these projections and scenarios resemble tremendous upside. And while a trillion-dollar valuation definitely is possible, and I dare say likely, I do think that these growth estimates are quite high, given that NIO would have to sustain these incredible amounts of growth year over year for years on end. So I would hesitate to say that it's going to happen anytime soon. And I would urge caution because there are so many other variables at play. There's so much that could happen in the meantime. But for those that like the vehicles, they like the product, and they believe in NIO's potential, the upside is certainly there, because I think NIO does actually have a pretty good shot at becoming a trillion-dollar company, unless there's some sort of black swan event sometime in the future. So yeah, I like the odds. And that's all I have. So please drop a like, and if you have any thoughts, feel free to comment them below. And as always, thanks for watching, and I will see you next video.